10 or a list. So we're going to use that list to learn the new list.
Okay.
We're going to start with the number 1, and it looks a lot like a flagpole. So when I say 1, you say pole. Ready? 1.
1 pole.
Perfect. You got it right. See? You're getting smarter.
I like it.
Let's do 2. 2 is shoes. How many shoes do you wear?
2.
So what's 2?
2 is shoes.
1.
Pole.
Perfect. 3 is tricycle. How many wheels are on a tricycle?
3. 3 wheels.
What's 3?
Tricycle.
2.
Shoes.
1.
Pole.
Perfect. 4 is a car. How many tires are on a car?
4. 4 tires.
So 4 is a?
Car.
Go to 2.
2 is shoes.
1.
Pole.
3.
Tricycle.
You're jumping all over the map on purpose because it's associating and it's a different type of memory. 5 is a glove. How many fingers in a glove?
5.
So what's 5?
5 is a glove.
3.
3 is tricycle.
1.
Pole.
You're going back and forth. It doesn't matter. 6 gun. They love them in Texas like a cowboy, a 6-shooter.
Oh, yeah.
6.
6 is gun.
4.
4 car.
2.
Shoe.
Perfect. Lucky 7 in dice, right? Lucky 7.
Yes.
7 is dice. What's 7?
7 is dice.
What was 5?
Glove.
3.
Tricycle.
1.
Pole.
We're almost done.
Holy cow. Okay.
Rhymes work. Say 8 skate.
8 skate.
What's 8?
Skate.
6. What did they love in Texas?
Gun.
4.
Car.
2.
Shoe.
Perfect. 9 is how many lives a cat has. So 9 is a cat. What's 9?
Cat.
7 was lucky in the game of
Dice.
and 5.
Glove.
3.
Tricycle.
1.
Pole.
Last one. 10. How many bowling pins are in an alley?
Oh, 10.
So what's 10?
Bowling pins.
Perfect.
Bowling pins?
That's right. Bowling pins. Perfect. Let's do the 10 together. 1.
Okay. Pole.
2.
Shoe.
3.
Tricycle.
4.
Car.
5.
Glove.
6. Texas.
Gun.
7's lucky in.
Dice.
8 rhymes with.
Skate.
9 is a.
Cat.
And 10.
Bowling pin.
You just got all 10
Holy.
effortlessly.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Now here's how to use it. It's a tool.
Okay, yeah. How do I? Now that I have these memorized.
Numbers are often confusing to remember.
Yeah.
Let's say you travel a lot. A lot of people I do podcasts with are speakers, so they go to hotels and you get confused after a while which room you're in because they all look the same.
Yeah.
So I'm in room 314. 3 is a tricycle, 1 is a pole, 4 is a car. Picture this in your mind. A tricycle hits a pole on a car. Can you see that?
Yes.
Tricycle hits a pole on a car. Tricycle, what number?
3.
Hits a pole
1.
on a car.
4.
That's your room number. It's also the value of pi in geometry. So you could use it in science and math to learn constants, history to learn dates, and in business you can learn due dates, percentages, room numbers, phone numbers, wherever and the 0 is the 10 bowling pins. So wherever you have a number, you could put a picture and you string the pictures together and put action there. And when you play the movie back with the pictures, the numbers come back.
Wow. How do you keep the movies in order? So let's say I'm trying to memorize multiple lists of something. How do I keep them from being mixed up?
Well, it's like anything else you learn. You have compartments. Okay. It's like bullets in a book. There's a list, and each list is a different list, and you learn the list separately. Mm-hmm. And the brain plays back the movie separately. Now, how does this work with reading? Mm-hmm. Very simple. When most people read, it's like they hear a voice in their head, like someone's talking. They're using their eyes to hear the words.
Yes, I do that all the time. I hear the playback. Yeah.
But when you're driving in a car, it's more of a movie. You see the road in 4 directions, front, back, left, and right. Watch your gauges. Watch the GPS. You're on the phone. You're talking to your friends. The radio's playing. It's very visual. You're playing a movie of what's going on. You're kind of seeing where all the cars are, where all the turns are, and it's very easy to stay on top of the visual data. So when I'm reading, as much as I can, I'm turning the book into a movie, and I'm seeing more and hearing less. I'm not saying I don't hear anything, but I'm seeing as much as I can. I'm making pictures out of everything I can picture. And then when I want to remember anything, I play the movie, and the movie has all the data in it because pictures have so much data in them. And so when I see the image, I can then see all the elements, just like we did with the list, and I'm playing it back. So making it a little more visual immediately increases your reading speed by about 100%. It takes about two and a half hours to complete that aspect of the program, but you're reading 100% faster with really good understanding by the time you're done.
Yeah. Oh wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. So it's I guess maybe it's because it's in the beginning part. So when I read non or fiction books, I do try to, let's say, recreate the scenes in my head.
Yeah.
But that does take, at least for me at that, without taking your classes, takes I think a lot more time because I'm trying to like visualize and read at the same time. So in your classes then, how do you eliminate that voice in your head that's like the narrator?
Actually, you asked two questions without realizing it. You asked about fiction and the voice. So let me address both issues.
Okay.
With fiction, I speed up the boring parts. Have you ever read a book and said, this is so boring, I don't think I can finish?
Yeah.
It happens a lot. So what I do is I use the speed reading in the parts that are boring and not enjoyable.
Okay.
And I still know what's happening, but I don't feel anything, which is great because what I was feeling was irritated and annoyed. So that goes away because I'm going so fast. Yeah. So like pulling off a Band-Aid quickly rather than slowly ripping all the hairs off your arm one at a time. You know, it hurts a second and it goes away versus it hurts for 5 minutes. And then when it gets interesting, where there's more ambiance, right? I tell people you don't chug Dom Perignon, you don't skate past the Mona Lisa, and you don't read a sonnet in 2.5 seconds and get the beauty of the words. And so there's a time for slowing down and getting the feeling, which is what what fiction is for. But because you've sped through so many boring sections, you've gotten done quicker and you've had more time to focus where the pleasure is. So that's the first thing you asked is that, and then I'll answer the second half, which was more about the voice. Yeah. And the way we get rid of the voice is also the same way we increase speed. So if you'd like, let me do both at the same time. How to read faster, because as you go quicker, it gets more visual and the voice starts to fade away.
Yeah. Okay.
So how do you read faster? After we're done, I'd like everyone listening to pick a nonfiction book they understood completely. That is because the only thing that could confuse you, since you already understand it, is how fast you're reading. Yeah. If you don't know what you're reading, that's how you know you're going too fast, because you should know what you're reading. You already understood it. So read for a minute with a timer at your normal speed. Don't do anything different. And at the end of the minute, you can have a timer on your phone. A lot of people have watches, phones. There's a lot of ways you can time things.
Yeah.
At the end of the minute, take a pencil and mark off where you finish. So you go to the first chapter, read for a minute, see how far you get, put a pencil where you finish. So that's an assessment. Mm-hmm. Now the magic. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go to the second chapter. This time, take your hand and go one line at a time from left to right with your eyes following your hand as fast as your hand is moving. Keep your eyes following your hand and keep speeding up till you don't know what you're reading. Mm-hmm. That's when you know you went too fast, because you should know what you're reading. It's something you understand. Slow down just enough so your comprehension comes back, and at that top speed where you can understand, for 5 minutes, move your eye continuously across one line at a time, following your hand. When you've done that, go to the first chapter where you initially tested your speed. And do it again for a minute, but with your hand. And this time, you're going to go 20 to 40% faster than you did the first time, just because of using your hand. partly because it's going to cut down slightly on the voice. As we get quicker, this is the first step.
Right.
The voice becomes less pertinent. You hear things that matter, but things that don't matter kind of disappear. Like when you look around the room, you don't see everything at the same time. There's sort of an area that's more focused, and you can see other things around, but they aren't overwhelming you. Your eyes are focused on what matters. The same thing happens with the voice. You hear new words and things that are particularly important, but the less significant material kind of fades away. That's more distracting than helpful. And if you'd like, I can next show what to look for.
Yes, please do.
People often say to me, one of the challenges in a book is there's too much to learn. Have you ever had that experience?
Yes, I have.
And it's like, well, what do I want to find? What if I told you, Yuri, all you have to find is 5 things? Would that help?
Yes, that would help immensely.
Would it help more if I told you what they are?
Yes, that would help even more.
Then I will. That's, by the way, what I'm doing now is important. When people are laughing and having fun, they learn. Your brain likes to remember things that made it feel good. When you're in class, many times as students, it's like, when is the bell going to ring? Someone kill me. You're not learning.
Right.
Your brain is like, this is hurting. This person is hurting me. I want to get out of this room. If they're making you laugh, you can't wait to get back to that instructor again. Right. So I make a point when I teach to make it fun. So people are enjoying themselves and their brain is remembering because it's fun, not because it's painful. So let me give you those 5 things. That's just a little sidebar. That's called a meta program. When I'm doing things, there's an invisible thing going behind the scenes. There's a psychological motive that's related to how the brain takes in the data that's being employed that I'm making you conscious of. But I don't talk about when I do it. But today I am. So the 5 things. The first thing you want to look for are the words. 80% of learning a topic is the verbs, the nouns. It's learning the words. Now, how do you know which words to learn? If the writer's doing their job, they make them look differently. They bold, they italic, they underline, they're in color, they're in a glossary. They don't look the same. It's like, look at this, it's different. Yeah. Learn those words. And if you know them, you don't have to learn them. The ones you don't know.
Okay.
2, names. Who's in your book? What did they do? Who's in the book? What did they do? 3rd, any number, date, statistical formula. What does it significate? How do you use it? That's very big in business. Numbers are very important. The 4th thing is in most nonfiction books, there are sections, headings and subheadings that are like file folders that have themes. What are the 5 main ideas in every section and subsection? The big takeaways. Yeah. The last thing is questions and answers. And here's a little something that'll help. If you have a book, like a textbook, that has questions at the end, read them first. You don't want to get to the end of 50 pages and find out you don't know any answers because you didn't know it was important. If you know before you start to read, these are the 10 things I need to know, when they show up, you'll know you need to know them. You'll pay more attention. So you don't have to read it twice, which is what's happening. So think of this, Yuri. You know every word and what it means, every person and what they did, every number, date, statistic, and formula and how it's used, the 5 takeaways in every section, and the answers to every question. What else do you think you need to know?
That's
it. You got it. And so here, I'm going to do an experiment, if you don't mind, with you and our audience to show you how the brain uses this. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
I'd like everyone listening to look around and make a mental picture of everything colored blue. Memorize all the blue things in your environment. Everything that looks blue. Memorize it. Lock it in. So we're going to do a memory exercise in a minute.
Okay.
Perfect. Now close your eyes. Unless you're in a car, don't close your eyes in a car. That would be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I want you to remember everything you just saw colored red. And your brain went, wait a minute. You said blue, right? Open your
Yeah.
eyes. Don't want